guys, it's Mia here and welcome back once again to another bookish video. Now today we are going to be talking about The Hunger Games' second book, Catching Fire. Now I just finished Catching Fire last night around midnight, so it's fresh in my head. But before we get into the review, this is of course the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. So if you have not seen my review for this, or you have not seen the movie or read the book, I recommend skipping the review for this because obviously there are going to be spoilers for the Hunger Games. So if you have not read, seen, or seen my review of the Hunger Games, then please skip the review for this because it is the second book and you will be spoiled. But if you are okay with spoilers or you have read the review, read the book, watched the review, or seen the movie, then hello, hi. So, Catching Fire starts off with Katniss and Peeta still trying to fake this star-crossed lovers thing. Well, fake it for Katniss. Peeta is absolutely in love with Katniss, which is so sad because it's not returned. So, they're going on what is known in this world on a victory tour. And the victory tour happens to where both the victors, or the victor normally, gets to go around to the district and celebrate their victory and go and see the districts and the people in them and all of that. So in this victory tour, they start to realize that stuff is really wrong. Like, there are people standing up for Katniss and Peeta, and there's peacekeepers all over the place, which are more than normal. And if you don't know what peacekeepers are, they're kind of they're kind of a SWAT team for them. But there are peacekeepers everywhere. They're not being treated like they normally are. They're just being ushered from place to place so quickly. And there was even a part where a guy gets shot after showing his appreciation to Katniss for what she did. So, as you can imagine, Katniss is like, what's going on? Why are they treating the people like this? Why are they so violent? And everyone is like, well, President Snow did not like what you did in the arena with the berries. He saw that as an act of rebellion. And she, meanwhile, is like, I was just trying to keep Peeta and myself alive. I may not have thought it as a rebellion in the moment. I didn't think that. And so she's having to struggle with kind of all this situation with the districts being attacked and all the peacekeepers buckling down and more guards being brought into District 12. So she has to struggle with that because of what she did in the arena in the Hunger Games. Even having President Snow visit her home and threaten the lives of her family. Keep in mind, Katniss is a 16-year-old, almost 17-year-old girl at this point, and she has the president of the government coming to her house and threatening the lives of her friends and family. Say what now? Over some berries? Really? If your government is that easily toppled, it's time for a change anyway. So the premise of this story, starts when there is something called a quarter quell, which a quarter quell happens every 25 years between the games in order to show people that the Capitol is still in power and to show them what happens when you try to oppose that power. So normally, these quarter quells are written down in envelopes that have not been touched for 75 years. But when the quarter quell for this year is called, It is said that the victors of previous Hunger Games and new Hunger Games are going to be sent back into the arena, which you can imagine ticks off everyone in the Capitol because they're supposed to be free and clear of the games forever and live a life of luxury. But because of Katniss's stunt with the berries, they want to kill her. So they figure this is the best way to do it without making her look like a martyr. So everyone is understandably on edge. They are pissed, they are surprised, they are shocked, they are horrified. And so they knew that Katniss would be stuck in the games because there were only 3 victors from District 12. Peeta, Haymitch, and Katniss herself. So they knew, her being the only girl from District 12, she would have no choice but to go into the games. That is why President Snow rigged the reaping, or the games, to say that. But what President Snow doesn't realize is that the rebellion that's been starting in the districts is also finding its way into the Capitol. And some people in the Capitol actually side with what Katniss did. So they see her as their Mockingjay, which was a term because this bird was mated with another bird to try and make spy birds, because they wanted to make birds that could hear things and then repeat them back to the peoples that sent them, effectively making them good spies. But people caught on to the fact that they were using these birds to spy on them, and they started feeding the Capitol, or the ones spying, useless, stupid information. So then they were so named Jabberjays. And then the Jabberjays mated with Blue Jays and made Mockingjays, or something like that. Mated with Mockingbirds and made Mockingjays. So they're already a symbol of the Capitol's failure. So that's why she herself is a Mockingjay. So we don't get to really see the build-up of how they get picked and how they train and how they, because we did all that. I mean, we see some of it, but she didn't want to spend time talking about the same thing again. So we just kind of breezed through that. And I will say that this book was a lot better than the first one, and I really liked the first one, but the arena was so much more deadly. You didn't have them throwing out traps every time they thought they were too separated. You had the whole jungle set up like a clock, and each hour slot had a different booby trap that would go off every time it hit that hour. So that kept it interesting, especially the ones that they didn't know about. And then you had this whole dynamic of some of the people in the Capitol wanting to keep Katniss alive, but some of them, like President Snow, wanting her deader than dead in the dirt. So she goes through this, can I trust you? Can I trust you? Can I trust you? What if you try to kill me? Like, she doesn't know who's on her side and who wants to kill her, because she didn't mean to start this revolution. So she is not in on this whole keep me alive thing. And I really love how that kind of plays on her psyche, because the whole time she's like, well, Haymitch gave you this gold band, which was supposed to be our ally symbol, so I should trust you, but at the same time, you're pulling a weapon on me, and it's just, it adds to the whole paranoia and the whole, when is this going to turn bad? When are they going to turn on her? And I really love that. And the love story between Katniss and Peeta is not really as prevalent, because President Snow, for one, already knows it's complete bullshit, at least on Katniss's side. And the rest of them are kind of iffy about it too. They're like, I don't know if this is real. So it was kind of cool not to focus on it, even though Peeta and Katniss genuinely had some good moments. And now, because Peeta kept Katniss alive in the last Hunger Games, she feels like it's her duty to keep Peeta alive. But she doesn't know there's this whole plot to keep her alive. And it's done so well, and I really love it. So, I genuinely enjoyed the Hunger Games, but she knew what she was doing in Catching Fire, and she made it work, and I genuinely loved it. The action was quick-paced. I loved the whole arena being a clock idea. The whole Katniss not knowing who's on her side and who wants to kill her, that was done really well. The action was much more handled because it was really just all about killing Katniss. So they were eating through the tributes as fast as possible because the main goal of that quarter quell was to kill one person, not drag it out like one big show. So everything was much tighter and much faster, and the meat was what we got and not the filler. So I'm going to watch the movie right after I'm done with this, so that should be done. And then I'm going into Mockingjay right after the movie. And this is going to be a first time read for me, and I hope the series ends on a good note. So let me know what you think about these books. Please do not spoil this one for me. I don't spoil books for you, or if I do, I give spoiler warnings, so please don't spoil them for me. Alright, I will shut up now. Hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.